Blind Owl Blues. How long have you known your friend here?
I just met her only a couple of months ago through a friend of mine who's a musician, John Zuko, and he had posted about her book, and he recommended I get in touch with her, and I did, and we became Facebook friends, and I got a copy of the book sent up to me. As a matter of fact, Alan Wilson's sister sent me a compilation CD as well.
Where's she?
She's down in Connecticut as well, so maybe we can maybe get both of them on.
That would be lovely, because Al Wilson's father used to go to the Woburn post office.
Oh, is that right?
Because the guys at the post office told me that, you know, he would come in, and he had to be in his 80s and 90s. Way back when, the mysterious life and death of blues legend Alan Wilson. What people don't understand is those 3 deaths were very strange. They just weren't normal. Why would a guy overdose the night of playing with Hendrix in Germany?
Right.
And it wasn't just Hendrix, it was 10 years after. You know, it was a big festival.
Right.
And, you know, and then Jimmy well, the Jimmy thing is pretty much coming out as the years go on and people die off. Other people around are less reticent to say, well, you know, this is what happened. I couldn't talk about it. So we have some sources on the Hendrix thing, and it's common knowledge. It was probably his late manager who found it more profitable for Jimmy not to be alive.
Really?
Yeah. Michael Jeffrey.
Just like with painters, you know, it's worth more after they're dead.
Well, he didn't realize that. That wasn't what he was banking on.
Oh, okay.
He knew that Warner Brothers would give him money for whatever unreleased masters, but they might have been in a little debt over the recording studio, Electric Lady, which still is there. Mm-hmm. And within 2 months, he was going to lose his management of Hendrix. Alan Douglas might have taken over. So we had Tippy, the road manager, on. And he was on our show twice with Buzzy Linhart and with myself. And Tippy also has that information that the manager did it. He was close friends with that manager. Buzzy Linhart's friend overheard the manager tell Monica Danneman to poison him. He took 3 sleeping pills, which were the potency of 9 American pills. But then they found wine in his lungs, as if someone poured it down his throat while he was sleeping. So he drowned in this, and there were so many different rumors when Jimmy died.
And that they just glossed over this in the investigation and didn't, I mean...
Scotland Yard reopened it.
Oh, okay.
And then they let it go. I mean, you know, it's like when Johnny Thunders died. Did you know who Johnny Thunders was?
Right, yeah.
New York Dolls. Did you know I got him his record deal in Paris? So Johnny flew over to Paris and took all the royalties, and you know, the people that did the hard work, Johnny just was Johnny. But he had a heroin problem, and he had done a gig one night, and all of a sudden he's overdosed. The police didn't look into it. I think it was down in New Orleans. We all knew it was a murder. His money was missing. He probably got $3,000. That was the going rate at the day when he played a club. So he just played a club. His $3,000 is missing, and his syringe and all his works were out all over the place. And people who knew Johnny said he was a very neat junkie. You know, Quasar keeps his work in a drawer. You know, works in a drawer. So you know, they were very protective about their privacy. So it was all, you know, spread out around the room. The police probably figured it out, but it's another dead junkie. And even though it was Johnny Thunders, some of these things are just cold cases that just go cold.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because I knew Johnny, and Johnny was hot and cold. If he was in a good frame of mind, terrific concert. And other nights, not so terrific a concert. Same with Nico. That's the problem with heroin. You know, they think that they're doing great, and they might be sluggish, and they're just not. They're not on the same plane of existence we're on. It's a strange, strange thing. So Al Wilson was just too young.
Yes, he was too young, yeah.
We did a show with Little Joe and Shirley. What was that, 8 years ago?
No, it was 4 years ago.
It was only 4 years ago?
It was 2007, or 5 years, almost 5 years. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
That was the 50th anniversary of the Peanuts.
Oh, wow.
And
Little Joe's big hit single.
Big, yeah, and that song carried a long way. I mean, it was in a Skippy peanut butter commercial. It was featured in an episode of The Sopranos.
Frankie Valli covered it.
That's right. It was on their compilation CD. That's right. Yeah.
But Frankie Valli, originally, it was credited to another writer.
Which happens a lot of times, as you know. A lot of times they sell off their music and stuff to try to get into the business, and and unfortunately they don't realize the implication later on down the line.
It's a tough business. Barry Scott's on my Facebook. Is he on yours?
No, not yet. Yes, he is. Excuse me. Yes, he is on my Facebook. Yes.
Did you see the Gold Record Award from Time Has Come Today?
Mm-hmm. The Symkus brothers, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, and the lead singer said he's never been paid a nickel. And I know too many of those stories. It's a very strange industry.
Yeah.
You know my friend Marty Ballin?
Yes.
Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
So he told me he's in Paris. And the guy, they're having lunch or whatever, and the guy said, "See that building?" And Marty said, "Yeah." And he goes, "We built that building with all the royalties the American artists never picked up. There must be money flowing through cyberspace that no one knows about."
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
I forget who it was that posted it on Facebook, somebody that I know. But Jim Croce's wife is coming out with a book about his life. I'm looking forward to it.
Was she well compensated? I would think.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Now, Jim and Ingrid Croce had a record out on Pickwick. He had they did something prior to him, Don't Mess Around with Jim. And I think the late Nick Venet was involved with Jim Croce.
Really? Yeah.
Because Nick Venet was a friend of mine. Beach Boys, Jim Croce, Don McLean, and Linda Ronstadt.
Mm-hmm.
Different drum. He was the A&R man at Capitol and probably an in-house producer.
Now, what do you think about the Beach Boys touring back together again?
It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yes.
Have you ever been to the Chevalier Theater in Medford?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I have not been there.
Frank Sinatra, Lou Rawls, John F. Kennedy. So, we're talking to the powers that be about a concert series,
mm-hmm.
which should be a lot of fun. And I have all sorts of ideas for it. So this is in the works right now.
A lot of people locally?
No, we're talking about national people.
National people, all
people
right.
You've probably seen on visual radio in the past, my friends. I'm into something good we're talking to, if you get my drift.
Absolutely,
That'll be a lot of fun. You know.
Great performer, by the way, really is.
But we won't say any names. There will be no hush that night. It should be a fun night. I'll tell you more about that off camera.
Well, I know if he does show up, my heart will be beating.
Yes, and he'll be down at the Mohegan Sun. He's in England right now. He's touring Europe right now. I went and looked, and then the agent's a dear friend of mine, so we chatted. The agent was a singer in a band, a guitar player, and he was kicking around Chicago. This is our rock star friend's booking agent.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in a band in Chicago with Spanky McFarlane, kicking. She'd be in clubs one night, he'd be in another, but he was just a teenager at the time. So I went and found his record for him. He couldn't believe it because he couldn't, but I know where to find this stuff on the web.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is like 10 years before me. These people are out there and they were playing with Spanky and, because Chicago was where she.
Is that right? Yes, yeah.
Well, Buzzy said he'd go and play in Chicago. He goes, and Spanky'd put you up for 2 weeks. She was like everyone's mother. Such a great person.
Yeah, she seems like a great person. I've seen her with you in interviews and stuff.
Oh, you didn't go down to the show?
No, I didn't. I'd love to meet her sometime.
Oh, you will. She's on. Yeah. We could call her right now. If you want to talk to the audience, I can look up Spanky's number if I got it with me. Should we call her?
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, she's what a great voice. And
I just got to see if I put it in here.
Yeah. Now, you've been to the Wolf's Den down in Mohegan.
Yeah.
A great venue.
I mean, I hate to do this to her because we've got 7 minutes we could talk to her. But should we try?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Give her a quick hello.
So, there we go. Damn it. This phone, my new phone. Technology.
I still have just an old flip phone that I love. I don't want to do anything else more with the texting, nothing to get it.
You know, she might be out playing tonight with my friend Harriet Schock. I bet you she is. I bet you it's Dinky Dawson's out there in California. They're out playing. The suspense, people, the suspense. I'll take her off speakerphone. That's impolite, right? I think she's playing tonight. I forgot all about it.
Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Hello, Spanky. It's Joe. And I forgot, you might be in L.A. playing tonight. If you're with Harriet Schock and you get this message, tell Harriet I said hello. I forgot all about that. I could do it again because it says, hello, this is Spanky, but oh well. That was her voice, you know.
Yeah,
isn't that cool?
It's recognizable voice by...
But they're playing out there. They got 2 gigs or something in L.A., and Harriet Schock wrote Ain't No Way to Treat a Lady. She's been a guest of this show, old dear friend of mine. And I introduced their sound man to Harriet, so now they're all friends. And I said, you got to do Ain't No Way to Treat a Lady. Do the Helen Reddy tune with Harriet and Spanky, right? Yeah. And then she wrote the theme to Berry Gordy's Last Dragon, so...
Oh, I didn't know that, yeah.
Yeah, Berry Gordy called her in the middle of the night and said, Harriet, I need a theme. And she wrote it, and Smokey Robinson, I think, did it for the movie. But Roberta Flack did it. Mm-hmm. And she did a Johnny Mathis song. She was in the studio with Johnny. So when I reviewed the record, I shot her an email, and I said, Harriet, I need to know about the session. So in my review, I have the songwriter writing about the session. I mean, I just think that's... You understand it.
I understand, yeah.
The editors might not want it, but to me, it's like history.
You know who I just met recently, and she's going to be a guest on my show, which I'm excited about, is Diane Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific performer.
Well, she played with my band, Scott and Jay Cooper.
Oh, is that right?
Do you know them?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Scott and Jay Cooper were playing the Cantab, and
That's right, she was playing, she played there after Joe Cook, yeah.
Well, they're the band that took over after Joe because Candy picked up my old band.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the news flash that no one knows. Scott and Jay Cooper might go back out with Denny Lane of Wings because I put them together with Denny Lane because, of course, the only girl I would have married, JoJo Lane, was married to Denny Lane. So the boys in my band know Denny from me and JoJo. And now, it was 1989, people. 23 years ago. So now they're talking to Denny about going out and tour with him. But I thought that Cantab gig is a great gig. Don't walk away from that.
Right.
I mean, you know, that's Friday, Saturday night at the Cantab. It's packed.
Right.
Where are you going to find a club that's packed?
You don't, yeah.
And Little Joe established that. We have to...
He was there for over 25 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
He made that place a college haunt.
Yeah.
Without him, it wouldn't be, because I know clubs. You have to have something that opens that door and people know this is the place to hang out.
I mean, every time I went there to see him, you couldn't move in there.
Yeah. Although, you know what I did one night? I got the videotape. You've never seen it. I taped him a few times in there. They had all those mirrors, so I'd stand on the chair and I'd tape him from the mirror.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
It was cool because you get the other, and of course I'd get him straight on. But
yeah.
I also taped Little Joe at that Silver Fox out in Everett.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
He had one of his many birthday parties there.
Yeah, we got to do something for his 90th.
But what was his birthday this past Christmas?
89.
89, okay.
Yeah. So.
December 28th?
Yes.
What a memory.
Yeah.
For Bluesheimers, that's not bad. So the 28th will be his 90th this year.
Yes.
Which means he was born in 2022.
Right.
All right. He was born in 1922.
1922. Yeah.
90. God bless him. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, as far as I know. Like I said, I really should give him a call. I get some time off right now from work because of a back injury. I should probably take a trip out there and see him sometime this week.
Are you working in the area?
Yeah.
Good.
But
good you have time off.
Yeah, so I should go over and see him and stuff. It's been a while.
What do you do with your time off?
I do lots of things. I mean, I plan for my upcoming shows. I'm editing some things right now, and I've been working with my actor friend Anthony James on his book, which hasn't been published yet. We're hoping to get that published. He's a character actor. Most people don't know Anthony by his name, but if you see his face, you know immediately. Do you ever see the movie In the Heat of the Night?
Yeah, Rod Steiger.
Rod Steiger. Yeah, Anthony played the guy, the tall, lanky guy in the diner. That.
I don't remember any of it.
Okay. Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood.
It's all way back for me. The brain cells.
Anyway, he was one of the biggest character actors.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is he from around here?
No, he's originally from, born in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Went out to L.A. with his mom when he was after high school, and just came out here in this area, 17 years ago. And now he just devotes his time to his paintings and has no desire to act again, but worked with Clint Eastwood a couple of times. I was in The Naked Gun 2.5 with Leslie Nielsen.
Was Kirk Audi in that one?
I don't know if that was the one that Kurt was in.
He was in the first one.
Right. And but between the 70s and 80s, Anthony was on just about every TV show imaginable. And it's a compelling book with some great stories, and we still have a lot of faith that it'll get published.
We're talking to Richie Sarno, who's up there at Burlington, BCAT.
BCAT, Burlington Cable Access Television, yeah.
And how's my friend Rick? Do you see Rick around?
Not that often, no.
I get Christmas cards, but
right.
I don't see everyone. I'm just like you, juggling a lot of stuff.
Juggling a lot. I mean, the other thing you notice is, I mean, the years, like you said, you thought that was 8 years ago that we were doing the Little Joe Cook thing. It flies.
Quantum Leap. It's all a big yarn, big ball of yarn. So what was your last show at BCAT that you did?
The last of my talk show, a turntable, was with Maria Da Crescenza, singer with Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Ah.
And it was funny. They were in town in August at Hampton Beach and at the Esplanade. So I went to meet her in Boston at the hotel. We did the interview. A wonderful person. She's been with Casey for 20 years. And
fascinating.
She also performs as a solo artist down in Florida where she lives.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so a wonderful person. We had a great interview, and I butchered her name at the introduction. But again, I don't tape live, but I put it on the end like a blooper and stuff.
Why not?
But she was wonderful.
Now, who is your director?
Let's see, Joan Rolfe.
I knew that. Hello, Joan Rolfe. She's directed visual radios. I wanted you to acknowledge her.
Joan has done so many things with me over the 8-9 years that I've done Access Television. She's just been wonderful.
And Richie Heenahan, she's working with him now.
Yep. She works with a lot of people, yeah. She just loves doing it.
Yep.
She has a passion for anything, whether it's audio, camera, she just wants to be involved.
So what was the first thing you worked on with me? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Little Joe Cook. You and I ran into each other, and I was printing something out and
at the library.
At the library, and some stuff on Little Joe Cook, and you said, "I know Little Joe." We started talking, and you were doing a show, producing a show out of Melrose, and you said, "Hey, bring Little Joe over for an interview."
So we interviewed Little Joe in Melrose. I have all those tapes.
Yes, and you said, "Richie, do you want to work one of the cameras?" And I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe. And I got out there and.
And that was your intro to this?
That was my intro. Then you said, hey, come Sunday night and work with me with the editing.
Oh, did we edit Sunday night, on that Sunday night?
I don't know if it was that one or the following Sunday, but it was pretty soon after. And, you know, I come from a graphic design background, so, you know, picking up the program's a little easier for me, and I went in there, put the graphics in for the show, and that's what piqued my interest, so I thank you for that. And I had seen your show, as I told you before, many times over the years.
It's funny, at the Burlington Library, people come in and say hi to me because they see the show.
Yeah.
You never know who sees the public access.
Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, I'm walking around Burlington and people will come up to me and tell me they saw my show.
Which is a good feeling because we're doing this and, you know, I have fun talking to authors and I like picking their brain about why they did this and how they got to this point. You know, it's fun.
Yeah.
But that people can enjoy it, that's important to me. And, you know, but I'm just thrilled that you and Richie Heenahan got exposed to it and took to it. because you have a lot to offer. You were writing, and now you have the writing and the TV.
Yeah.
And it's preservation. You preserve Little Joe on the camera.
Yeah, one of the things I'm working on right now, Joe, that you might find interesting, back when I went to art school, New England School of Art and Design in Boston, back in the 70s, one of the assignments we got from the history of film teacher was to take a song and put images to it. So I did slides, 80 slides I did, to The Bed from the Bill Lynn album.
Oh, wow.
Which is not a very pleasant song
No.
in what happens in it. And
Do you still have it?
yeah, what I did was I took the slides, had JPEGs made, and now I'm making it into a video.
I'm doing a video on Lou Reed's Berlin album. What do you think of that? I mean, a DVD.
Great. It's a great album.
For the same company that I did the Marty Ballin disc for. So I want to see your thing.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's going back 1975 I did it.
Wow.
And now I'm finally putting it into a video format. And
you know, Dick Wagner was on the show twice, right, from that album.
yeah.
And Steve Hunter's going to be on in the next couple of
Oh,
weeks.
good.
So, you know, we're covering the bases with all of them.
Yeah, that was a very, I think it was an underrated, I think it's a great album. And I don't think it got the recognition that it deserved. And didn't he just go on tour about a year ago?
A couple of years back, he did Berlin Live.
Berlin Live, yeah.
And he had Steve Hunter back on it. But see, Dick Wagner's had a health issue. So Dick hasn't done these, you know, the new Alice Cooper album, Welcome to My Nightmare 2. I heard that Dick is on it, but Dick told me he's not on it. Steve is on it. And Steve is on the Berlin Live. So I'm glad they're resurrecting these great records, but the record was such a downer. Lou didn't always think in commercial terms.
Right. It was a downer, but I mean, the whole concept of Jim and Caroline meeting, I mean, it's just it's a downer, but it's a great album.
Well, it really kind of took the Velvet Underground's dark side and made it what they called at the time a motion picture for the ears. That's what the RCA was promoting it as. And now, remember Heidi Ho by Carole King's song that Blood, Sweat, and Tears did?
Blood, Sweat, yeah, sure.
We're doing Heidi Ho next, but it's not the song. But since it's public domain, we can put the song on it.